Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto. Hope you're having a great day. Let's dig into every topic that I covered during the Crypto Minute. Now, BitBuy, if you are an exchange in Canada, a centralized exchange in Canada, you have to jump through many a hoop to do what you do. Well, BitBuy is one of those exchanges, and they've said, you know what? We're going to thumb our noses at the SEC, and we're going to relist XRP. That's right. They're relisting XRP. So the XRP Army has a lot to be happy about. Now, let's take a step back. The world, I have seen a lot of videos. They're like all over TikTok, where other people in other nations are saying, can we just kick the United States out of crypto? Just like, what? And they're saying this because, especially those people that are dealing in XRP, because they feel that XRP's price is being held back by the United States, to which that is, yeah, pretty much, right? Pretty much. By the US SEC taking the stance that it's taking, it basically threw cold water on what was then hot XRP. Now, this is a very big deal because Canada's right next door, and they're basically saying we don't care we don't care about what you're saying over there, SEC. You don't rule in our country. That's what other countries are saying. This just happens to be the closest country that's saying that. We don't care what you say. We're gonna move on. So if you're in Canada, enjoy the ability on BitBuy to actually go buy some Bitcoin. Go buy some XRP. And I expect that there will be other large announcements doing the same thing. I'm wondering when that will actually hit exchanges in the United States. Like I said, there are two ways the case can go. You're a security, or XRP is a security, or XRP is not a security. Either way, there is a path to being traded. If it's a security, register it. Or if it's deemed to be a security, then the SEC has to give it a path to be registered. Then it's going to be listed on exchanges again. If it's deemed to not be a security, it's going to be relisted on exchanges again. It's not going to matter. It's not going to matter. At the end of the day, like I said before, it's going to be a win-win. Now, Google Play just made a big move in stark contrast to what they're doing over at Apple. What they're saying is you know what? If you've got tokenized assets, follow these rules and you can definitely be in our Google Play store. Yeah, that's huge. That's huge. That means that games in the Google Play Store, full-blown Web3 games, can have a Web2 version that sells NFTs and things like that and start to introduce Web3 tech. Start merging and marrying the two. You know who is there? Try English. Sorry, folks. That is going to bode incredibly well for a project that I actually really like, which is Gala Games. And again, no, I am not being paid. Gala Games, if you look at the management, I believe it's the CEO, founder, something like that. He actually came from big mobile success. Something about, some poultry being angry. I would pay attention to that. That's going to open up the floodgates for a lot. Remember, whether you believe this or not, Google Play is actually the largest in the world, not Apple's store. Okay? Not their store, Google's. So that's going to be, I think that's going to have a really positive effect for projects like that. Next up, the US government moves about $300 million in Bitcoin seized from Silk Road. But I'm looking at how they did it. They didn't just move it from one address to one address, in preparation for. They moved it from one address to many addresses. And it sounds like what they're saying is, listen, we know just the announcement of us moving is going to have an effect on the Bitcoin price. What it looks like they want to do is soften that blow by allowing the Bitcoin to kind of trickle out across all the addresses, thusly not having an immediate 5,000 BTC impact on the market. That's going to be very interesting to see that play out. The last time it happened, we took a small dip and it came right back. So I'm not so worried about it, but I think people get into a panic. They get into a frenzy. That's what drives everything down. I think they need to take a step back, slow down, and really think about it. That's what I think needs to happen, right? But that's a big move. That's a very, very big move. Next up, you have the IRS, as if they haven't been, but now it seems like a more concerted effort. They're looking at Puerto Rico. And they're not looking at Puerto Rico as an island nation. They're looking at Puerto Rico as a digital asset tax haven. Now, why is that? Because I believe it's on the books that, basically you don't have to pay a lot of taxes on your digital assets as if you were on the mainland US. Yes, Puerto Rico is a part of the United States. Yeah, for some people, you actually have to say that. Sorry. But if you live there for like 6 months out of the year, I don't know if they have to be consecutive, but I know I'm pretty sure if you live there for 6 months out of the year, you can claim residency in Puerto Rico. Now, if you do that, your digital assets are far less taxed than if you were on the mainland. And that is a really big deal. And that's what the IRS is looking at, because they're looking at a lot of people that are saying their residence is Puerto Rico. Now, I can kind of believe it with some people, because there's a major uproar about all these rich people moving to Puerto Rico and trying to act like all the beaches are now private beaches, or certain beaches are now private beaches. That's against the law. But that does say that you have big money moving to Puerto Rico. So yeah, I can see why people are being investigated. Now, something else that I wanted to tap into. Robert Kiyosaki and I agree, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. We agree. Right now is a great time to start thinking about moving into real assets and Bitcoin. Not gold, Bitcoin. Now, the reason why I say this is because I'm starting to see something that usually foretells things to come. And that is the height or increased height of car repossessions. People went out there and they bought cars at a ridiculously high price. You remember, cars were above MSRP, way above MSRP. But people stretched themselves, bought those vehicles, not just at high MSRP, but high MSRP along with high interest rates. And guess what? Those cars are coming back. They are being repoed, which means that you've got a lot of inventory that's starting to build up. And that's usually the first wave that happens. So speaking with one of my friends yesterday, and she was telling me, yep, that's the first wave, right? What's the next wave? The next wave is going to be, I'm going to walk away from my mortgage. That's the next wave. A bunch of people walking away from mortgages. And now you've got banks that are holding cars and holding real estate. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but there are a lot of major corporations that are going out there and snatching up real estate. Except I think in this case, it's going to be a lot more than what people think. So the timing could be right to start looking for those real estate deals and then getting in on them, because you'll be able to get on them lower. And in a couple of years, the interest rates will come down and you'll wind up being able to refi. Hence why I believe it's time to start looking at real estate. Now, my oldest son, who is now vacationing, I'm not going to say where, but let's just say I know him and his girlfriend are getting a really good tan. But we've been looking at real estate really, really hard. And we found some decent deals, you know what I mean? But we haven't found any real deals, nothing to make us really get into it. I think that's going to change. I think over the next couple of months, we're going to start seeing opportunities that we did not see before. I think that's what's going to happen. Look at the real estate space right now. You have a lot of people that bought real estate just to do Airbnb that, they're over their heads now. Anyway, you know what we should do? We should get into the numbers. So let me flip that over for you. Yeah, you're used to seeing my notes. I ain't worried about that. All right. As you can see, we got big red going on. 30,589 for Bitcoin, 1882 for Ethereum. I know they're red. I get it. I really get it. They're not really red. Why do I say that? I say they're not really red simply because we're moving laterally. So if it went down a penny, it's going to be red. But look at the number that I said yesterday. We were at 30,006 and change for Bitcoin. Not that much of a move. And in a couple of hours, it'll be back up again. We're moving sideways until we have major news. And I think there are catalysts that are going on. I think that Google news is going to have an impact. I think that XRP news is going to have an impact. There's also there's also rumors going on out there that XRP or Ripple is actually looking to do their IPO in London. Wow, that would be huge. That would be huge. I don't think that's true. I think it is just what it is, just a rumor. I just don't see it. I haven't been able to corroborate it. I saw it one time as a tweet from somebody who bought that little blue check, and actually I think they might have already had their blue check before Elon started charging for it, and they let them keep it. But I do think that it's nothing more than hearsay. I am looking at Matic being up to 77 cents. Yesterday, when I went to bed, I think it was at 72 cents. 72 cents and change. So it just popped up a nickel. That's huge. Just putting that out there for you. It's been creeping up. Just saying. XRP has not seen anything yet, but I think it will. I think as that news starts to get out there that you can now go to Canada, or if you are Canadian, you can have your BitBuy account and buy XRP with ease. I think that's going to be a big deal. I really do think that's going to be a big deal. So Shiba Inu, not really moving as much as I want it to do. Solana, I think, is gonna start heading up. Doge isn't doing jack. And I'm not pleased about that. Cardano, I heard rumor that Cardano, Hoskinson is looking at Algo and saying maybe now's the time for Algo to be a sidechain to Cardano. And I was like, ooh, that would be interesting. That would be very interesting. Right, since Algo's on that list of the SEC's list of your security. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. If you're looking at the straight up text and you just want to see the numbers, you can see what's in green, how everything's moving over the past 24 hours, 1 hour. You see, yeah, it's all right. Nothing crazy. But you can actually see here you are with Polygon at up almost 3% in the past hour. Right? Up over 5% in the past 24 hours, over 11%, almost 11.5% in the past 7 days. Those are big moves. Solana's up almost 10% in the past 7 days. So this is why I tell you have to kind of keep looking at the market. When I say do your own research, I mean, do the numbers too. Pay attention to the numbers too, not just the news. Because then you start to see trends. Right? You start to understand what patterns are there, how things are moving. That's why I keep telling you must do your own research. Don't listen to everybody else. Take whatever anybody says, including myself, take it with a grain of salt. Go find corroborating evidence. Anyway, total value locked is at 57,422. It's steady along, lateral movement. I do want to see the Bitcoin chart so I can show you that lateral movement. And yesterday, I told you we were about right here in terms of a low, like 29,730. Around there would be the line that I would draw, right? And then you can see we really are moving laterally within that number and 31,580, which is the upper end of my, my green band, as I call it. And, my absolute floor right now is still 28.28. And we dipped below that for a while. See that right there? We did dip below that for a while, and then we came right back. But do you understand why I keep telling you do your own research? Because this was a time for you to get in and then, boom, start making money. This is what I mean. Anyway, this is Eddie J on Crypto. Hope you like what I'm doing. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I'll see if I can answer them. And hopefully I learned something. Anyway, hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.